I am a bit late to the party, but the third issue of the Ben 10 Dynamite comic has been released. I haven't been able to make a video on this new issue because I've been sick like a dog, but as soon as I started recording, there's been new information about future iterations of Ben 10 releasing in the future, and that is definitely some very exciting news. And hey, maybe this new comic book had a hand in making them interested in finally bringing back Ben 10. And speaking of things being brought back, Zombozo will be making a return in issue number 4 of the comic, and man, I cannot wait to see what that's going to be like. But we still have to cover issue number 3, and this issue will seemingly wrap up the introduction to this new comic iteration of the series, so I definitely can't wait to see the original new stuff we're going to see in the future. But let's jump right into this. So it starts off right where issue number 2 ended, where Gwen is actually chasing down Ben, who is transformed into Cannonball. It was also revealed in issue number 1 that Gwen also had some theory that aliens existed, and that theory starts to come to play as the situation basically confirms what she believed. And we also get to see that this iteration of Gwen is also extremely confident, like she is earnestly trying to take down this alien that is actually Ben without her knowledge. But right in the middle of this altercation taking place, Ben actually de-transforms back to normal, and they absolutely do not back down with the body horror elements in this new comic. It looks absolutely wicked. Ben is completely flabbergasted at this point, and Ben is trying his hardest to actually explain how this happened. And honestly, the artwork of these characters looks so much better right here in this panel. I think Ben looks a lot better with longer hair, and Gwen also doesn't have that ginormous cranium that she had in the first issue. She looks a lot more accurate to how she looked in the show. So yeah, I think they're doing really good with the artwork. And we also get a look back at the military. In the last issue, one of the soldiers got completely annihilated by Kraab, and we get to see that again in this new panel. The panel also uses some pretty mildly mature language as well, as we see them say words like hell and damn it. I do like that they're going a more mature route for this iteration of a Ben 10 comic. I think this could be cool for people that grew up on the show and want a more mature take on the series, or even for teenagers and adults that never watched Ben 10 before and are interested now. You know, honestly, I did not expect this comic to be this mature after seeing the first issue have a Freddy Fazbear joke, but honestly, I'm here for it. However, the military is alerted of an intruder, and it is no other than Kraab, the same creature that absolutely decimated that soldier in the previous issue. And we also get to see Grandpa Max watching all of this in the background as he's hiding. The military is seen using flamethrowers against Kraab, but Kraab seemingly has no worries at all. But we then pan over to Ben and Gwen, and this is where he still tries to explain the Omnitrix to her, but they then proceed to look for Grandpa Max. But it turns out the rust bucket is driving all by itself, as Ben and Gwen are still inside it. They have absolutely no idea where the RV is going, but Ben seems to be tripped up by this whole vacation altogether. But this is where the RV stops, right in the military base, as we also see soldiers shooting at Kraab. Ben and Gwen are both shocked by what they are seeing, but what they see right after this is absolutely gnarly, as we get to see Kraab impale yet another soldier. And it's honestly insane to think about that these two 10-year-olds just witnessed murder happen right in front of them, but Gwen encourages Ben to use the Omnitrix right here. And we finally get to see a fan favorite alien appear for the first time in the comic, and that is Diamond Head. Diamond Head rushes towards Kraab with complete confidence, and this is a really interesting interaction because Kraab recognizes that this is a Petrosapien that is on Earth, and Kraab was disregarding this planet altogether up until seeing Diamond Head. So this is where Diamond Head of course welcomes him to Earth, as Diamond Head impales Kraab, and we get to see them continue to interact. Kraab is well aware of Diamond Head's power. We also get to see that Grandpa Max is actually watching all this unfold, and this is where Kraab attempts to kill Ben by shooting a giant laser out of its eye, and this causes a massive explosion. But right after this, in classic fashion, Ben is seen de-transforming out of Diamond Head, and he even has the catchphrase that he used to say in the classic series.
Oh man.
This is where Kraab immediately recognizes that this is the Omnitrix, and with Kraab finding this out, he says that the Conqueror will be pleased, and this is obviously referring to Vilgax. And Ben is also in a ton of danger now with no longer being an alien, and Gwen is horrified by what she is seeing, but she finally gets to meet back up with Grandpa Max. Max reassures her that there is a lot going on right now, but he lets her know that she needs to help Ben. Ben is seen actually giving up right here, but we then get to see that Kraab is suddenly attacked by some form of pulse, and this is where Ben realizes his Omnitrix is glowing, so he decides to slam the dial on the Omnitrix to transform into an alien. We then get to see that it was Grandpa Max that attacked Kraab with a high frequency particle burst, and this successfully distracted Kraab, so Ben was able to transform. But who does Ben transform into? Well, he transforms into one of his most reliable aliens, that being Forearms. And yeah, I think this artwork right here of Forearms slamming Kraab is amazing. It's definitely detailed, as you can see one of Kraab's eyes being broken off, and we also get to see Ben take advantage of all of Forearms' limbs as he slams Kraab. Kraab is basically pulverized at this point, but this is where the military takes notice of Ben, so he tries to flee from the scene. We get to see Grandpa Max using another gadget in the rust bucket, and he fires a smoke screen at the military compound. Grandpa Max is also seen boasting that the military won't be able to track them down, and this is where the Omnitrix is also seen to wear out. And yeah, Ben and Gwen seem already fed up with this summer vacation, but Max says that this is only the beginning of the summer vacation. Max's plan was a complete success because they were able to successfully flee from the military. We also take notice of the obliterated Kraab, and this is where we see the confirmation that Kraab was sent out by Vilgax, as we then get to see Vilgax in his brand new attire. And with Kraab being taken out, Vilgax is now interested in Earth, as clearly this planet is not as inferior as he once believed. And we get to see one final message from Vilgax before the issue concludes. I will say I also love the artwork of this final page that has Vilgax. There is a lot of detail right here. But yeah, this basically wraps up the introduction of the comic series, and I really believe that things are going to get a lot better from here, especially with Zombosa making an appearance in the next issue. But yeah, it was definitely cool to finally see Diamond Head. I am still a bit unsure about the Omnitrix. With how these issues are paced, it feels like the Omnitrix gives out after like 5 seconds of being used. I feel like we could have seen Diamond Head doing some crazier stuff, but I still thoroughly enjoyed this issue. I think it's definitely worth the read. But yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys in the flip.